everybody. This is Molly with Purpose. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about just that. What's our reason for being on this earth? Why are we here? And I think our only reason to be on earth is to get back to God, get back to heaven, learn how to love God more and more every day, and how to, try to do everything we do in our everyday life for God. Does that make any sense? You know, we do so many little things. Our whole lives are basically just little bitty moments. You know, this moment, that moment. It's just billions of little moments that are all clumped together, and then that makes our whole life. If we can try to make as many of those little moments, holy moments where we're thinking about God, then we're just going to be better and better people. Hope that makes sense. Did in my head. Hardest thing in the world to do. So God gave us the Bible to help us. And when we left off, we were talking about Abraham and Sarah. Sarah had just died. Abraham's an old man. He got remarried to Keturah, had lots of kids, and he sent his concubines, his later wives after Sarah, he sent them and the kids away. I don't know why. He didn't just kick them out. He cared about them. You know, he's a good man. He gave them money. He gave them gifts. He set them up so that they'd be okay. But he sent them away from his son, Isaac. Isaac was the true heir. Even though he had an older son, Ishmael, with the maid Hagar, remember that story, Isaac was his true heir. And he sent the others away. Why did he send them away? I don't know. It doesn't say. My guess is they were going to be a distraction for Isaac and maybe take him away from God and his relationship with God. Maybe there'd be fighting amongst them about who's going to get more of the inheritance. I don't know. I don't know why. But he sent them away. And then when he was 175 years old, Abraham died. An old man, he'd had a good life. And Ishmael, his older son Ishmael, came back to help Isaac bury him. So Isaac didn't have to do that all alone. And he was buried in the cave with Sarah. And Ishmael turned out okay. You know, that was kind of a sad story where him and his mom had to leave. But he turned out all right. It says he had 12 sons who were princes, so they had some royalty in their family. They didn't believe in the one true God like Isaac does. They were Egyptian, so they believed in lots of gods, but they did okay, you know. They had places of power in their land. So Abraham's son Isaac is the main focus here. And he's the true heir of Abraham and Sarah. And Isaac married Rebekah. We found that out last time. And it took 20 years for Rebekah to get pregnant and have a baby. 20 years of hoping and trying and praying and being disappointed and wondering what they did wrong. You know, is God punishing them? And we hear this is a common theme throughout the whole Bible, these women who can't get pregnant. Abraham and Sarah had a lot of trouble getting pregnant with Isaac. And I don't think that this is about punishing anybody. You know, there's millions of women who would love to have a baby, love to get pregnant, and they don't. It's nothing they're doing wrong. God's not punishing them. It's not that he's messing with us, you know, and he's letting this woman who doesn't even probably deserve kids get pregnant, and this woman who wants nothing more than to have a baby, and she'd be a great mom, she can't. God's not playing with us. We live in a broken world, and that's just part of being in a broken world. God never intended for any of that to happen. It's just because of sin. But I think in the Bible, when they talk about a woman who can't have a baby, it's to remind us that God is in charge of all life, not us. You know, we're just little bit players in the story of God. Everything in my life should be about God. He's the one who decides life and who will be born. He decides when we're going to die. It's all about God. God gets to decide life. He's in charge of life, not us. And so, but they finally did get pregnant. 20 years after they got married. Isaac was 60 years old by this time because he was 40 when they got married. And it wasn't an easy pregnancy for Rebecca at all. And in fact, she was praying one day and like, God, if I'd known it was going to be this bad, I don't know if I would have wanted it that much. And God told her, 2 nations are in your womb. Twinsies. She's going to have twins. There's no sonograms back then. She would never have known that. But God told her there's 2 nations in your womb. And 2 peoples born of you shall be divided. Ooh, that's not a good prophecy. Her kids are going to be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. That doesn't happen. Back in those days, the oldest son was the heir. My dog just coughed. The oldest son got the huge portion of the inheritance, and then they were in charge of the moms and the siblings and all the servants and stuff. And this is saying the younger one's going to be in charge. Ooh, that's shocking. Well, sure enough, she gave birth to twin boys. Esau was born first, and he was red and hairy, it said. I don't know why it said that, but it did. And he loved the outdoors. He loved hunting and fishing and farming. He was kind of a man's man sort of guy. And you also get the feeling he was a little bit of a player, that he didn't want any responsibility. He just wanted to lead a fun life where he could do whatever he wanted. And then Jacob was more quiet and serious. And then it says something interesting. It says Abraham loved Esau more, and Rebekah loved Jacob more. That's just going to cause division. It's just going to cause problems. We can't love one kid more than the other. It's going to tear them apart. They're going to be fighting for the other parent's love because they want to feel that love. So that's just not good. Well, it gives us a little glimpse into these boys' lives. Now, they're probably adults by this time. This is Genesis chapter 5, verse 27 through the end of that chapter, 34 or 35. Gives us a little glimpse into their life. So Jacob's making some bean soup. It said he's using lentils. So it's like a bean stew that he's making. And Esau came in and he said, oh, I'm starving to death. Give me some of that. And Jacob said, sell me your birthright. You sell me your birthright? I'll give you some bean stew. And Esau was like, what good is my inheritance to me if I'm dead from starvation? Sure, take it. And then Jacob gave him some bread and some stew. Well, it sounds first off like Jacob's a real jerk here. And he was. You know, you don't take advantage of somebody. And Jacob was taking advantage of Esau. But Esau was not starving to death. You know, I've said that. I've said, oh, I'm starving. I'm not starving. I don't know what it's really like to be starving. I'm just hungry. Esau was hungry, and he was too lazy to go out and get his own food. Remember, Esau was a hunter and a fisherman. He knows how to cook. He knows how to make his own food. He just didn't want to. Jacob already had it made. He wanted to take the easy way out. And he didn't care about his inheritance. He didn't want it. He didn't want all the responsibility that came with it. Maybe it just seemed so far in the future to him that he didn't really care. It's a long way down the road. Dad's going to live a long time. What do I care? He didn't cherish it. He didn't hold on to it. He didn't respect it. He didn't honor it. It was nothing to him. And he threw it away for some bean soup. Now we think to ourselves, what's that got to do with me? We do it all the time. Every time we get distracted with life, we get distracted with whatever's going on in our day, and we forget about God, and we do things that are just going to make us happy. It's the easy way out. It's I don't know, we don't want to do the extra work it takes to talk to God and to be with God and to pray and to go to church and to read the Bible. All that takes work. I just want to watch Netflix. I don't want to do all that. We're selling our inheritance for bean stew. What's our inheritance? Heaven. Heaven's our inheritance. We are beautiful, precious children of God. We're children of God, the God. And our inheritance is heaven. And sometimes we don't really cherish it. We don't hold it like it's a fragile little egg, you know? We look at it like, it's a long ways away. I don't have to worry about that right now. And we should, because it's important. And I don't want to sell away my inheritance for some bean stew. And I hope that you don't either. So think about that. You know, when you get all caught up in your life and you get all caught up in the distractions of everything that happens to us in the day between our spouse and our kids and our parents and our jobs and our friends and just all the responsibilities of life. When you're caught up in all that, remember God while you're doing it. Keep him in the back of your head. Ask him to touch your heart and lead you closer to him. No matter what you're doing. Doing the dishes, talk to God. Driving the car, talk to God. On social media, pray for people. Ask God to touch their heart and lead them closer to him. And then we need to try to not take the easy way out and read the Bible and go to church and talk to God and pray all throughout our day. That's showing God that our inheritance matters to us. It means something. And we may not get it for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Might come tomorrow. We don't know. But we value it. And we're not going to sell it for bean stew. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. When we come back, we're going to learn a little more about what's going on with Isaac and Rebecca and the boys. And I hope you all just have a great day today, everyone. Bye-bye.